Welcome to another edition of Live with RxMuscle's March to the Olympia 2015, sponsored by Results Nutrition. I'm your host, Dave Palumbo, and I'm here with tonight's guest, men's physique Olympia champ, Jeremy Buendia. Welcome.
Thanks for having me, Dave.
Great talking with you, Jeremy. You're one of the guys that I always say, and there's always one of these in every sport, in every division, that kind of floats under the radar. No one really sees you coming, but when you arrive, you make a huge impact. You placed third at the Men's Physique Olympia, the inaugural one in 2013, second place behind Mark Anthony. The following year, no one was even talking about you. You come in and you stole the title. You are the reigning champ right now. Talk to us a little bit about why you seem to be more on the low key side.
I think it's the amount of shows I've done. I mean, I've only done, I believe it's, I think 5 pro shows, in the past 2.5 years. So, as far as being out there competing, I haven't done as many shows as some of the other guys have. But as far as being under the radar and low key, I wouldn't say I am. I mean, I'm very in tune with the industry, I feel, and I feel like I'm very active as much as I possibly can, and I do make my rounds.
You have to admit, though, Jeremy, in 2014, when the build-up for the Olympia was coming, people were talking about how the competitors were getting larger in size, and Poston's name came up, Sadik, Hadzovic's name came up as potential guys to win the Olympia, and no one mentioned you, and no one saw you coming, and you came in there and you slammed everyone. I mean, that had to feel great for you, but at the same time, were you kind of a little depressed that people weren't mentioning your name, given the fact that you had been second place the year before?
No, because out here on the West Coast, I feel like my name was brought up a lot. Jason and Sadik competed a lot that year as well. I think Jason won, 3 or 4 shows that leading up to Olympia that year. And I only did the San Jose, which was a few months prior. So, and it was a smaller show as well, and it was local, and it was a first-time show. So, as far as that being talked about, when I got to Olympia and I was backstage, I felt real confident, and Hany felt confident as well. And I went there with a plan to win the show, and that's whether it was talked about or not. I went there with my own intentions, and it turned out in my favor.
It's interesting because Jeremy, that you mentioned that you aligned yourself with Hany Rambod. Obviously, been working for his company Evogen. I know he does your coaching now. And when Men's Physique first came out, there was a lot of guys out in California. Everyone was like, "Well, this is the California thing," because all the California guys are into Men's Physique. But it seemed to start moving more east, so to speak. And we see a lot of, the top guys now coming out of the sport are from the East Coast. Is there an East Coast, West Coast rivalry, do you think?
Are the athletes different? Yeah, I think there's a slight difference in the style of men's physique over here opposed to the East Coast. Is there a rivalry? I wouldn't say there's a rivalry. I just, for myself, I just worry about my own self. I don't know who's rivaling with who, but, I'm going to Olympia and I want to compete to win Olympia, and whoever's going to step on that stage, I'm going to try and beat. So, that's what I'm concerned with. I'm not too concerned with who's doing what on the East Coast or West Coast. I'm just concerned with what I'm doing and with Olympia that's coming up.
Now, I had Sadik on the show the other night, and I mentioned you to him, and I mentioned, how he thought he would do against you. And he said he's winning the Olympia. He goes, "I'm winning the Olympia," which kind of, basically makes a very bold statement. Are you concerned about Sadik coming off that win from the Arnold, obviously, Classic, weighing, almost maybe 20 pounds more than you do? You'll probably be on stage around 175, Sadik probably in the 195 range?
The only reason Sadik is the Arnold champion is because I wasn't on that stage that day. So that's the only reason he won that show. For him to sit there and say he's going to win Olympia, I beat him every other single time I've been on stage with him. So I don't see it being any different this year. I'm coming in with a lot better and more improved physique. And I beat him last year. I'm going to beat him again this year.
Is there anyone in the men's physique division, take yourself out of the equation for a minute because you are the Olympia champ, is there anyone out there that you say, what, that guy's got a real good physique, I got to be careful about him?
My boy Jason Poston, he always looks great. And the fact that what he's been able to do in his offseason this year, he's bringing something a lot different to the stage. So I think, honestly, if I have my competition, it's going to be between me and him this year.
Interesting. Now, you do, like you said, not compete a lot. And now I've seen in men's physique more so than in pro bodybuilding, the guys seem to do a lot of shows. Now, I don't know if that's good or bad. Obviously, it's hard.
They do a lot of what?
They do a lot of competitions, whereas the bodybuilders tend to just do 1 or 2 shows. The men's physique guys tend to compete a lot. You haven't. Do you think that that's going to work to your advantage since your body is more rested?
Yeah, I can tell you right now, I'm very well rested. I'm way a lot farther ahead of schedule I was last year at this point out. I always I've known for the past 3 or 4 years competing, I'm always my most crisp the first or second show of the year, and mentally, physically, I feel great going in. So, right now I'm in a good place for being 3.5 weeks out.
Now, Jeremy, you started in bodybuilding. You competed as a bodybuilder for 4 years. You had some successful runs as that. Did you like bodybuilding? I mean, obviously you're better in men's physique. You're the Olympia champ. But did you like bodybuilding? Could you have seen yourself staying as a bodybuilder, moving up the ranks?
I just potentially. I mean, I couldn't ever see myself being over a certain amount of weight. I couldn't see myself being a professional bodybuilder and carrying that much size. Just for the functionality reasons and just not what I'm trying to do for myself. So, do I think I could have done it? Yeah, I could have done it if I really put my mind to doing it. I feel I could have, progressed into the next level. But I'm happy with competing in men's physique. I'm really happy with the way I look right now and the physique I'm bringing. So, I always had an image in my mind growing up what I wanted to look like growing up, my ideal physique, and I'm getting pretty close to that right now. What I've created in my mind of what I wanted to look like.
Now, just as a footnote, because we always like interesting footnotes, in 2010, as a teenager, you actually were on stage with the notorious Boston Lloyd, who was 18 at the time, and you beat him in a bodybuilding competition. That's pretty ironic, isn't it?
Boston's my buddy. Boston's he's a good guy. He has a lot to say, but he's a good guy. We did my first show in the NPC was against him, and he was definitely like my competition for that day, and he was definitely more shredded than me, but I brought a little more size that day to the stage. Not to say anything now because he's a big guy, but I competed against him there, and then we competed like 2 weeks later in LA as well together.
Let me ask you this question, because I always wondered these things myself. How has your life changed since becoming the men's Physique Olympia champ? There's got to be differences.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, the amount of my whole life's changed with my work. I don't necessarily. I used to be a trainer. I'm not really a trainer anymore. I've been able to travel the world, been able to make appearances. I've been real busy with doing that, quite frequently. Going from show to show, working with my sponsors, Evogen and Live Fit. Both of them, I've been very active with and going to a lot of events. As far as my actual life, I haven't tried to let it change me. I've kind of kept everything the same. But yeah, people come up to me here and there. I can't go to the gym without people stopping me and saying hi. But I love it. I've always wanted to grow up and be a professional athlete of some sort, and to be able to have fans that genuinely will come up to me and ask me for my autograph. It's a good feeling. So I'm very grateful for that, and I don't take it for granted at all. I love being an Olympia champion, and I want to continue being an Olympia champion.
Now, a lot of people ask me, and I'm wondering myself, because I forgot to ask you earlier in our pre-interview, but what ethnicity are you? Because you have an exotic look to you.
Yeah, my father's, he's 100%, or not 100% Filipino, but he's Filipino and Spanish. My mother's Caucasian. So I'm half white, half Filipino.
There you go. Now, I saw a picture of you with Manny Pacquiao. You had met him, and I took a picture with him. What was that meeting like?
It was cool, man. I had a friend out here in LA. She's kind of in Manny's inner circle out here, and because he trains out here in LA when he gets ready for his shows. And she reached out to me. She's like, "Hey, I think it'd be a good idea if you came out, watched him train, got to shake his hand and talk to him a little bit." So, I went to church with him, watched him speak at a church, and then we went to lunch with his family afterwards. And then the next day, I went out and watched him do his cardio and conditioning with him. So it was a really cool experience to see a superstar like that, and somebody who had a lot of influence on the people of my culture, to see how somebody can make such a big impact. And it was cool to see the intensity that he trains with, being a world champion of his caliber, and seeing him so close to a fight. it just reminded me of how I need to be with my mentality as I approach Olympia.
Who was more shredded, you or Manny?
I had Manny beat. I'll tell him that.
Yeah. Have you ever thought about going out to the Philippines? Because I know like Manny is like a hero there. I mean, have you ever gone there and visited? And
I'm going out with Sean Roden for his show in October. I'll be flying out there with him, doing an appearance, and hopefully meeting actually, I will be meeting a lot of my Filipino fans out there. Hopefully put a seminar on or two. But no, I'm really looking forward to going out there in October for the Sean Roden Classic. It's going to be a lot of fun. My first time over in the Philippines, so I'm looking forward to it. Hopefully I'll be able to see some family over there. I don't really know anybody over there, but might be able to set something up.
How could they have a Sean Roden Classic and not a Jeremy Buendia Classic? Your actually family is from the Philippines.
It's all right. In time, things will happen.
How did Sean Roden snag a show over in the Philippines? I don't
know. I don't. He's part of. I think he's part owner of Flex Southeast Asia or something. So he's involved with that.
Ah, I didn't know that.
It's pretty cool.
That is pretty cool. Getting ready for the Olympia, obviously this time around, being the reigning champion, do you feel more confident going into this Olympia than you did last year?
There's 40 can be 40 competitors this year, so it's a lot bigger show. My level of confidence it's always the same going into every show. It's just the mentality my father gave me when I grew up. Like, I don't ever go into anything thinking any other outcome besides coming out on top. If I start instilling in my mind anything else, then the result will start to follow. So I don't ever believe I'm not going to win. I don't ever lose confidence. Are the other competitors coming in better? Yeah, everybody's going to come in better. Everybody's, when they step on stage, they plan on taking out the champion. I'm the champ, so I have 40 guys coming into the show planning to beat me. A few that have been, it's going to be close. There's a lot of really good athletes. So, I'm just going to do my best to, cross my T's and dot my I's during this prep, which I have been. This prep has probably been the most perfect prep I've had, and I haven't messed up hardly at all. I've been on point, and with that being said, if I know I'm doing everything I'm supposed to be doing, and I don't have any questions about it, I have a lot of confidence.
How important was it to your success, do you feel, meeting Hany Rambod, and what impact did he have on your life?
I owe a lot to Hany. He's much more than just a coach. He's just much more than a sponsor. He's become a very good friend of mine. Somebody I can trust and rely on significantly for pretty much anything. So I owe everything to him. He's taught me a lot. We work very closely together. Basically, he's helped me become a better athlete. He helps mentor me on everything else as far as just everything within the industry. So, it's really, really good to be part of Evogen and being working with Hany.
Now, the Men's Physique Olympia competition is called the Men's Physique Olympia Showdown. Hasn't really gained full status yet. We don't see you guys up on the main stage with the pro bodybuilders. Is this something that you would like to see happen in the future?
Yeah, it would be nice to be up on the main stage. Personally, I have no problem in the convention center. I like being up and on stage. Like, we go on for prejudging off for like 30 or 40 minutes and getting right back on. I think that's cool. It makes we have the rest of the day to enjoy. Being on the big stage under the big lights, yeah, that'd be awesome. Be a dream come true. But I'll be up there after I win this year again for that final picture. So that's what I plan on doing.
That's a good attitude to have. Now, would you ever consider doing the Arnold Classic? To get that title to meet Arnold. I mean, that's got to be every kid's dream is to meet Arnold at some point.
Yeah. I'm going to focus on Olympia right now, and I'll think about that later. That's something I'll discuss with Hany and figure out what our plans are. But right now, our focus is on winning this Olympia. So the Arnold will be discussed later.
Now, family support system, we talked about Hany, obviously. How important is your family in this whole process? Do they get it? Do they understand what you're doing? Because a lot of times, like my father never understood the whole bodybuilding thing until I became really good at it. Were your parents supportive from the beginning, or did they kind of gradually start getting it?
They gradually. At the beginning, they were very against it for a few different reasons. It wasn't until I made them believe that I can, have success doing this. And, after they didn't even come to the first Olympia. It was after that they came and started really stepping up the plate. And now they're more supportive than I can ever ask for. My dad is my number one fan. I couldn't ask for better parents and a better brother and sister-in-law to support me. Basically, you know, anything I need from them, they're there to, you know, motivate me. My dad calls me almost every single day and just gives me that pep talk. You know, make sure I'm on point, making sure my meals are on point. And it's funny because my dad is, you know, he bodybuilded back in the day, but it was very old school. He just liked to lift weights, so he's learning the sport as he goes. And it's funny because he'll tell me what the other athletes are doing. He keeps track of everybody else, and you know, he's like, you need to bring this up, you need to make sure this is dialed in. And it's funny because he's learning as well, and he's excited about it. So, you know, it's something that my dad and I share, and it's pretty cool that you know, he's so into it as well. But yeah, it's very motivating. I got off the phone with him yesterday, and he hasn't been calling me as much, and he was just telling me, you know, I know you're doing your thing. I want you to focus, and you know, you call me if you need to call me, but otherwise, just know I'm always thinking about you. Always, you know, I'm always sending my positive energy to you. So yeah, it felt good.
That's great. You know, it's always great when your parents support you. My dad calls me and tells me he's constipated. You know, at least your dad tells you, you know, to bring up your lats. Now, yeah. You recently had a little bit of a life-changing experience. You moved down to Temecula. You're dating IFBB bikini pro Norman Austria. And what is that like? You know, I always love celebrity couples. I think we all are somewhat enamored to that whole idea. What is it like, you know, dating a pro bikini competitor?
Oh, but she's great. She's the best girlfriend I asked for. I mean, we prep together. We do our cardio together. She's super supportive. She backs me up 100%. So, you know, I wouldn't just say it's a bikini, you know, dating a bikini pro. Her as a specific person, she's just, she brings it all to the table. So it makes my life a lot easier. And, you know, it's nice to have somebody to go through everything with, and that understands everything. You know, I don't really have to explain much. She understands, and, you know, it's motivating. We train hard together. So
you don't have to like say, hey, I got to go to the gym because this is what my job is. She kind of understands it because she does the same thing, obviously.
Yeah, exactly. And you know, it's when you're trying to date somebody that doesn't do what we do, like, it gets hard, especially doing prep. Like, you can't take them out to dinner because then they feel bad for what they're eating or whatnot, or you can't go out and hang out with their friends or go out and drink. So none of that stuff. It's fine because that's the lifestyle we chose, and you know, it's nice when you have the same person, the same type of lifestyle.
Well, Jeremy, it sounds like you got a great support system between Hany, your dad, you know, now your girlfriend, and you know, you are the reigning champion, and it seems like you got all your ducks in order. And I want to just wish you the best of luck come 3 weeks from now when you get up on that Olympia stage.
I appreciate it a lot. Thanks for having me, Dave.
All right, we're out of time. Thank you for joining us on another episode of Live With. I'm Dave Palumbo, and we'll see you next time.